Learn to set boundaries. Learn to set boundaries. Learn to set boundaries. That's all I'm hearing in the spirit for this particular word. So you are single and you're ready to mingle. You are single and you're ready to mingle. Dating, dating, particularly if that person will eventually be your spouse, sets the tone for your relationship. Dating, particularly that person who is ready or is said to be your spouse, will set the mood and the direction for your marriage. Make sure that you start off on the right footing. Make sure that you start off on the right footing. The Lord says, do not be unequally yoked. Do not come together with an unbeliever, hoping, and I've spoken about this already, and believing that perhaps in time they will change, that their hearts will turn towards God, that somehow, somewhere you will save them. Never get into a relationship thinking you will save the other person. Hey, Sandra, never get into a relationship thinking that you can or you will save the next person. You're not here to save people. You're not here to save people. I know hmm, you're not here to save God. Did not put you on this earth to save people. God did not put you on this earth to save people. Do not think that you're going to save your husband or save your wife, that somehow that God has sent you to save them. You are not put on this earth to save anybody. You are not put on this earth to save anybody. That's actually a word and a teaching for another time. You're not here to people. Do not expect to save your partner. Do not get into the relationship thinking that somehow things will change over time. They will worsen. Get in the relationship on the right footing. Start with God, you'll end with God. My meditation earlier on with God was start in the spirit, end in the spirit. Start in the flesh, end in the flesh. Start in the spirit, end in the spirit. Start in the flesh, you will end in the flesh. Start on the right footing. Let God lead you towards it. Start on the right footing. Let God lead you towards it in the right timing. God is all about timing. God is all about timing. God is all about timing. I've spoken in previous words to say, in this moment, in this season, concerning timing, what is God asking you to do prior, once again, to dating, prior to going out to meet the people that you hope would carry God in the way that you envision them to, that God has led you towards those people? What is God leading you in this moment towards concerning you and yourself? God is all about timing. God is all about timing. God is all about timing. His timing in this moment for you is for a purpose, is for a reason. If you're single right now, it's for a purpose, it's for a reason. If you're finding the right mate, the right partner, the right spouse, and God is leading you towards them, it's for a reason, it's for a purpose, it's for a season. If you're married, it's for a reason, it's for a purpose. That is an extended season. And that's what we're getting towards. When you eventually get married, the season is in cycles, it carries on. From there should not be an end. There should not be an end. There should not be an end beyond death. As many in the church would say nowadays, until death do us part. Until death do us part. Until death do us part. That is the purpose of marriage itself once you get into it. Your purpose in life, again, is also not to get married. That is not a purpose. That is not a predestination. That God put you on this earth to get married. And that God has put you on this earth to save people. I know those are two great revelations that I've spoken about, but they're in the spirit, so I'm speaking them. You're not here to save anybody. If the Lord leads you to save somebody, it is the Lord leading you. If that person is ready to receive the Lord, it is the Lord speaking to them. It is the Lord that saves. Man cannot save anybody. Man cannot save themselves to begin with. What makes you think you can save anybody? It is the Lord that saves. Do not get into a relationship, into a marriage, thinking you will save anybody. If the Lord has not spoken to that person about salvation, past, present, or future, he will not get saved. Not even through your words, not even through your prayer, not through your efforts, not through your fasting. If salvation is not in the man, if God does not want that person, by want, how do I express how God desires people to come to him? If that person's heart is not leaning towards God in any way, shape, or form, does not desire it, God cannot force himself on that person, nor can your prayers and your fasting force that person to turn towards God. Do not be unequally yoked with anybody. Do not join yourself to an unbeliever, thinking and hoping that they will change. It is possible, but that is not the right footing. That is not the place that you should begin. It can happen, but in this situation that I'm detecting now, specifically, it is not a word for you. Stop praying for that person to be saved. Stop praying for that person to be saved. Focus on your own salvation. Focus on your own relationship with God. Make sure that it is right. There's no deeper word for you than that. Focus on your relationship. What God wants you to do with that marriage is entirely up to you and God. But I believe you know the answer already. Do not be unequally yoked to an unbeliever, hoping and believing that they will be saved one day. Do not do it. Single and ready to mingle. So start on the right footing. Believe that the Lord is leading you, and he shall. Believe that the Lord is leading you, and he shall. In this video, I'm going to pray for your spouses to come. We're about halfway in the series. You have learned, you have listened. It is now time to apply what you have learned. One, consider submission. If you're a woman or to be a wife, know the word on submission, why it is required, why it is necessary, why it is spiritual. I've spoken about that in previous videos. Two, know the fruits of the Spirit. What is God working on you concerning this season? What is he working on them concerning their season? When the two of you eventually do meet, what are the things that God can confirm within the both of you? That this is your wife or this is your husband. What is God speaking to you about? How have you discerned the voice of God? Three, once you get in the relationship, be God-centric, be the light, maintain your own light whilst fanning their fire, their zeal, their light, allowing it to also shine. Do not overshadow anybody's light. Do not let anybody's light be your shadow. Do not let their purpose become your purpose. Maintain your purpose in God. Help them to maintain and to concentrate on their purpose in God. See where the two of you come together concerning that purpose. Move as one. See where God requires you to separate towards certain things. Move separately but within God. Let God confirm all things. 3. Your offspring, the children that you bear. Make sure that you speak God over them. Make sure that you speak God over them. Make sure that you speak God over them. So you've met your spouse, or you are in the motion of dating. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. Speak about sex. What are your beliefs? What has God spoken to you about concerning it? Speak about intimacy. Speak about children to come. Don't wait for the conversation once you get married. Do not have important conversations only once you get married. From the onset, even if you believe that this is the person God has spoken to you about, from the onset, understand the direction that you both wish to go. Know your boundaries, know your limitations, know your restrictions, know what you desire, know what you do not, know your shortcomings, tell them about them, know their shortcomings, allow them to be comfortable enough to tell you about it. Now, not necessarily on the first date. I should imagine that you wouldn't be speaking about everything on your first date or when you eventually do meet. Get to know each other, their likes, their desires, their dreams, their visions. Listen about their past as well. They must reveal where they come from, their past experiences, their past hurts, the things that have shaped them, their relationship with their parents, their relationship with their siblings, their relationship with their friends, particularly their friends. You must know from the beginning who their friends are and how they direct them. You must know from the beginning who their friends are, who they associate with, and how those people influence them. Friends from the early on stages of your relationship will have a bigger impact on your partner than you do. Friends and their circles will have a bigger impact on that person, on how they are shaped, on how they think, on how they move, on how they are influenced, a bigger impact on them than you do. Get to know who their friends are, how they speak to them, what words they released over them, how they connect with them. Get to know their friends, get to know their dangers, get to know the people that you may want to consider to speak to them about in removing early on, not once you get married. Because if you get married and those friends are still there, and then you start to influence your men that they should break apart, to move aside, that will set a bad precedence on you because it will be your fault. You will be the person in the wrong. You will be the person misleading him. You will be the person feeding him wrong information, poisoning him. You will start to begin to become an enemy to the people that he loves dearly, that you've asked him to cut them away. So from the beginning, know who their friends are before you've even begun. Put thoughts in his mind that it may look as if the decision was his in the long run to remove certain people. And the Lord is emphasizing this. The friends that your husband keeps, the friends that your wife keeps, are influencing them, speaking words over them that may not be in line with God. Yes, you may fight, you may argue. They may need to go and confide with somebody, but confiding in the wrong person and your relationship, just by their words alone, can go in the wrong direction. Friends are very important. Keep your ear out. Do not ignore it. See, let your intuition speak to you concerning who they are connected to, who they spend their time with. Let your intuition speak to you. Let your intuition speak to you from the beginning. Again, yes, we know that God is the one who has brought us together, who is leading you towards that person. but we are all still in the flesh and we make fleshly mistakes. As much as I try to involve the Spirit as often as possible, this earthly vessel is subject to influence. This earthly vessel is subject to influence. This earthly vessel is subject to influence. Understand where it is influenced. Understand who influences it and how. Know the buttons that can be pressed. They can turn your house into an enemy's battlefield. Know the buttons between the both of you that can be pressed. They can turn your house into a battlefield. Know where the enemy has already planted his seeds within your flesh, within their flesh. Know where the enemy has planted his seeds within your flesh, within their flesh. Pray about it, speak about it, get consultation about it, get mediators, the right mediators, the godly mediators to speak to you about it. Get elders to help you, to show you the way. Seek help, but seek it in the right places. Seek help, but seek it in the right places. This is how speaking to you. The word on alcohol and substances also came up. Do you drink? Do you drink? Do you drink? If you're getting married, alcohol should be the last substance they should be allowed in your household. Fine when you are young and experimental and enjoying life. Perhaps you picked up on it. Perhaps it keeps you calm. Perhaps it's your escape. Perhaps, whatever the case may be with your relationship with alcohol. If you're getting married, that substance should not be anywhere near your household. Yes, I know Christians can drink. I know Paul does not restrict that. Even the Lord himself drank with sinners, as it was spoken about. He turned water into wine, as his family spoken about by many who do consume alcohol. But understand, if you consume it, there is at least once or twice that you have gone over the limit, and that is once or twice too many. There's at least once or twice that you've gone over the limit, and that is once or twice too many. Get alcohol from the beginning out of your household, because in time, when pressures start, when things get heavy, and it was your escape, it will be your escape twice over, because now it's not just your headache that you're dealing with, but the headache and the pressures that your partner is putting on you as well. That drink that was half filled becomes full. That drink that was half filled becomes full, and it will make a fool out of the both of you. Even if it's just one of you that drinks, the both of you will suffer the wrath. Even if it's just one of you that drinks, the both of you will suffer the wrath. I would encourage you and advise you, any of you going towards marriage, to stop drinking, to remove alcohol from your system, to stop drinking, to remove alcohol from your system. This is a word by the Spirit. Don't look at me and say, who are you? Just tell me such things. I'm trying to save your marriage in the future. I've seen many marriages where alcohol is involved. They never end well. They never end well. They never end well. Remove any substance, whether alcohol or any other substance that may influence you, out of it. Learn to stock it out. If you're feeling under pressure, particularly the men who do not like to speak, avail yourself to speak to your spouse, to your partner, even if it makes you vulnerable. Avail yourself to speak to your spouse, to your partner, even those of you who are already married, even if it makes you feel vulnerable, makes you look weak. Expressing your emotions, expressing your thoughts, expressing your worries. It's okay to worry. It's okay to worry, as long as at the end of the day, you're looking for a solution. It is okay to worry, as long as at the end of the day, You're looking for a solution, a godly solution at that. Let God influence you towards those decisions, the better decisions. Nevertheless, as I was beginning to speak this word, set boundaries early on, from the onset. Let them know that you're serious in God. Let them know that your relationship with God cannot be compromised. Let them know that God has final say in everything that you do, and that He must have final say in everything that they do, in every decision that they make, in every decision that you make together. God must have final say. Anyway, I spoke a word that I'm going to now release. We're halfway in this word, or just about. Let me now release you in the spirit that this season will be open for your spouse, for your partner to come to you. For those who are married, I'll release a word for you just now that you would come back to where you had begun, that you may come back to where you had initially begun. Those of you who are already married, certain flames need to be relit. Certain flames need to come back to light. Those of you who are married and your marriages are going cold, the flames need to be lit once again. Those of you who are heading towards marriage, towards your spouses, I speak this word now, that the Lord will locate you, and they will locate the right person for you, and you will know instinctively that this is the one, that you would know instinctively that this is the one. Receive that in the spirit and feel it, that you would know instinctively that this is the one. Receive it in the spirit, that you would know instinctively that this is the right person for me, the right season for me, the right word for me, the right time for me. Believe it, receive it, it is sealed. Believe it, receive it, it is sealed. May the Lord open up your dreams and your visions. May your feet catch a fire, that in those flames, that they may move with the fire and the zeal that the Lord puts upon them, that they will go in the right direction towards the person that will keep those fires alive. May the Lord lead you, show you a new thing. May the Lord lead you, show you a new thing. May the Lord lead you, showing you a new thing. To those of you who are married, have date nights. Date your partner. Date your partner continually. Continue to keep the flames alive. Do not get used. Do not settle. Do not get used to them. Do not settle. Do not get used to them. Do not settle. You know, the novelty of a thing begins to wear out after some time. Once you get used to it, it loses its value. It loses its appeal. Do not let your partner lose their value. Do not allow your partner to lose their appeal. As soon as you begin to feel it, and you will know. As soon as you begin to feel it, and you will know. When things start to get cold, set it back alight. When things start to get cold, set it up alight. Because if you do not, tomorrow, the person you looked at with fire and flames and desires yesterday, today, you will see them in a new light, and you will wonder how we got here. You got there slowly. Death happens slowly and over time, slowly and over time. Systems within the body, one by one, begin to shut down until there's no more pulse. One by one, they begin to shut down until there's no longer a pulse. Awaken, those of you who are married. Awaken, those of you who are married. Awaken, those of you who are married. Have a desire for your partner. Have a desire for them and them alone. Have a desire for your partner and them alone. Let the Lord help you. Let the Lord help you. Let the Lord help you. Short and sweet. Thank you for listening. Be blessed.